everyone, today we'll be playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Let's get right into it. October 20th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory of this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez, I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll couch her with her pants down, so to speak. The day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp and ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hamer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at the Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. Van added to the court record. I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination? This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in at the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your old desk. It hurts my ears. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. Oops. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, right. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks at the table in front of the trailer. you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that provided she didn't eat that steak, well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she'd said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere. Huh, as I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manola ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there was no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You ate a boneless steak. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai, picking on What? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order! Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think you could. You couldn't, could you? I don't know. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that weapon. Pretty much anyone would. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the weapon. What? What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as a weapon. I present my proof, the so-called weapon. But that is the weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not a weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to Mr. Hammer? Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see what this weapon is. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very incident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pushed him through the chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside of the studio too. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had done himself 5 years ago. So whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on a script writing team. You deny that what I say is true. Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio One, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? She couldn't deal with it. I bet she couldn't move it. She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands? For instance? Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate's costume. Hold on, right? Don't forget, it was Sal Manella who drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was the conspirator, sir? Of course, Sal Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So what happens next? Huh? Don't, me? Do you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean D. Vasquez? So it was you. You jackhammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I'm hammer. Right, but that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? What? Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? You did it, Vasquez. Testify again. No further questions, Vasquez. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before, the truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Man, to come so far only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was observing, Your Honor. I didn't. I see. Very well. Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything gained by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, indeed. Verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But wasn't he the one who said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. After finding the body, I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy? The witness will continue her testimony. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says, did no one go to call him? Remember what? There was a body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting out location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez. You may continue. I immediately called the police and Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived at the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence, dead silence. Silence. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying, he did it! Oldbag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right, the steel samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out? Yes, it seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved, thus they covered for us. Covered for you? Or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure that her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. The script and your direction notes. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the before going to Studio One. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, what you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had the perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scene, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director? You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now has been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers and not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Molina was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you heard Mr. Manila wrong. You saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put it on the Steel Samurai costume. And went to Studio 2, where he was... Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order! Order! I will have order! Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer to... Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his... Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on this matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Okay, I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this. This is my proof. This is the photo from before? This photo reveals the motive in this. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Steve Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, the accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighted him down, no doubt. However, you, Steve Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed Steve Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for... She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for... All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes, I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's everywhere. We're too late. Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No! How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No! Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please don't. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's Dee Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Yay! That is all. This court is adjourned. October 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the... It makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? I don't know or show evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in kids' shows, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. Congratulations, WP. Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Nick, Edgeworth. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Escas would have gotten away with it if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar? Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? You like me? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Oh, okay. Aren't those kind of unnecessary? They're only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Miss Wright? Was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing the accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. I have been recording for 4.5 hours. Hope you enjoyed.